Good evening. It is Friday, and I've been sick for the last day and a half. So in case you're wondering why there's no post for Thursday, that is why. It was actually a really rough day. Of course, I still had to work, but I couldn't take any meetings, so I had to do more virtual meetings, and then from there, I had to do a bunch of phone calls, and then I had a 6 o'clock flight to get back to Dallas, but that got pushed to 7:30. And then we finally got in and we got delayed on the actual runway in Dallas for 25 minutes. So I didn't even get off the plane until like 10, 11 o'clock. And then I had a 3.5 hour drive back home. So I didn't get in till about 1 o'clock last night. I am super exhausted. Unfortunately, we did not get much studying done yesterday. The only thing I was really doing for Japanese was I was looking at some of the words in the back of chapter 2 for Genki, just because they pop out of nowhere. So one of the words is wakarimasen, wakarimasu, wakarimashita, just I understand, or wakarimashika, where it's like wakarimasu, do you understand? Stuff like that. I have to look over it a little bit more before I move on to section 3. But since the day's over right now, I'm making another cup of coffee. I got a YouTube video going explaining kind of the grammar of the next chapter, so I can at least get ahead on the grammar while I'm learning vocab words. I'm not going to be rushing it much in terms of each lesson. It's only going really quick right now just because I've learned these 2 lessons multiple times. It's almost engraved in my memory, so the second I see a word, it pops right back up. Outside of those back of the textbook chapter 2 words that I forgot all about. So we're going to be working through that, but it's really unfortunate because this weekend I was supposed to go to the Lubbock game for the BYU Texas Tech game, which is supposed to be a really good football game, and we're going to beat them even though they're undefeated. I'm pretty disappointed that I'm missing that, but unfortunately at this time in my work season is our busiest time of the season. So this is where we have about 3 events going on. This is the final quarter to get the last revenue in for the year. So I can't really risk going to Lubbock while already being sick and making it worse by drinking with friends and going out, because I have a lot of meetings next week. So unfortunately I had to take the L and come home, which I'm not too happy about, but I'm a big baby when I'm sick. You could ask my wife. So she actually just left to go to Lubbock. She's still going to the game with my mother-in-law and one of my cousins. She'll probably get to see my friends up there, so she'll have a good time. But that means I got the house to myself. So what we got planned for this weekend, we're gonna do a lot of studying. I think I wanna knock out 3 to 4 hours of Japanese studies this weekend, and we're gonna watch a lot of anime. On my drive home last night, because I was just so out of it, I put on like the last seasons of like the summer and fall seasons of anime, which animes to watch. So I wrote down like 3 or 4 of those. So probably what we're about to get started here now is we're going to do a study session of about an hour, going through the words I know, doing some practice, doing some vocal practice, some pronunciation, and then we're going to go through our Wanikani. I did some Wanikani yesterday actually, so I did study some Japanese. I did about 5 kanji I added on, just very short and sweet. And then after that, we're going to relax, watch some anime. Then we're probably going to study again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have just the words out that I need to memorize and just keep going back and forth between them. So that way I can work through those. But that's my plan. We got a cup of coffee. I just had a steak and some rice. So I'm pretty much set for the weekend. So we're going to do a little bit weekend vlog instead of a daily vlog. So it's going to be a fun one. Clean my crib where I do a lot of my work at. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit of a nerd. This is my pretty much collection I've been working on so far. So I have a bunch of Funko Pops, but I don't really put them up for display until I get them signed. So all the anime conventions I've gone to, I have a lot of American voice actor signed ones, but my real special ones right here are, let's see. So we have this one right here. This is Killua. This is signed by the Japanese voice actor. I also have the American voice actor right below. This one right here is Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. I have the American signed and the Japanese signed. Funny enough, I actually got this thing signed while I was going grocery shopping. So there's this place in Plano, Texas called Mitsuri Grocery Store, which is just a full Japanese grocery store. And when I was down there for work one Sunday, they actually had the guy from Japan out there just signing stuff. And I managed to get a ticket. So I got this one signed a little bit ago, which is one of my more prized possessions. And then I have this one right here. So this one I lost or I didn't get the insert yet from the Sinden I got the sign from. But this is Kakashi signed. I'm gonna get a dual sign one where I have the Japanese and the American voice actor. But this is one of my more favorite ones too. And then outside of that, we have pretty much everything American signed. The only other thing that's different is probably going to be this one here in the back. You guys can't see it. I don't like messing with it, but it's the time I got reincarnated as a slime. And this one actually got signed by the whole entire Japanese production cast. So like the producer, the director, the lead animator. So that one was pretty neat. And funny story behind that one is you had to win like a special drawing to get it signed. It was like some lottery system, which I did pay to try to get into it, and I did not win, unfortunately. But I was like walking by, and I saw their stand open. There really wasn't much people in line. It was like kind of behind a curtain. And I asked the staff worker, I'm like, hey, like, got an extra ticket by chance? I don't win the drawing. And she's like, she looked around. She's like, yeah, I got you. So I got that signed too, which is pretty cool. And then this is the other one that's really neat. This is Aki Bright. He's a manga artist. I actually got to see him do a live drawing, and he has all these cool animation manga drawings right here, and has a really cool art style. And when I got this signed, he actually did a picture, like its own drawing for the signature. So this one's really cool. This is my first time actually getting to meet a manga artist, and when we were there, he was actually doing the live signings. So this is pretty much my office. I have some Pokemon cards up here. I don't really take Pokemon as seriously. I went through a phase of buying a bunch of the decks, but just kind of went out of it over time. And then outside of that, we got Drawing the Line in the Sand, some of my sales awards, and we got Rhinos over here. So this is pretty much the office. Now that we're done with work, we're gonna get a solid study session in. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off by reviewing chapter 1 and 2. I've been doing this before every single lesson, just kind of going through like the workbook activities to understand what's going on, make sure I still have a full comprehension of everything, doing some talking, doing some pronunciation. Then we're going to look at 5 new vocab words, and then we're going to study some of the grammar vocab, or some of the grammar particles like de and ni and o, and we already learned mo and he or be. So those particles actually stand for different things. It's like grammars, like commas and stuff like that. So I'm going to learn some of that, and then we got some more katakana to learn today, and then we got some kanji. So we got a full day ahead of us. I think we're going to try to bang out like an hour and a half to 2 hours of studies is the goal. Relax, watch some anime. I'm going to put on the theater upstairs, and then from there it's going to be that until I go to bed, and then same thing tomorrow. So I'm going to get my study session doing. Let's get the time lapse on. Is it for our first round of studying. We added on a little bit more of our katakana, 4 more letters. And now we are going to just be embarrassing ourselves and going through some speaking. So we're pretty much done with chapter 2. But we're just going to do some pronunciation practice. So this is what I'm currently sounding like when I am talking Japanese, so feel free to roast me if I sound weird. But this is the conversation. すいません、これはいくらですか？それは3000円です。高いですね。じゃあ、あの時はいくらですか？あれは3800 or 3500円です。Numbers are kind of hard to read sometimes. そうですか。あれも高いですね。これは1100円ですよ。じゃあ、その時をください。Then if we find a wallet, これは誰の財布ですか？私の財布です。 arigatou gozaimasu. Let's see. Irashimasen, menu o dozo. Domo, kore wa nan desu ka? Dore desu ka? Or dore desu ka? Tankatsu desu. Tankatsu? Sakana desu ka? Ie, sakana janai desu. Niku desu. Oishii desu yo. Ja, kore wa o onegai shimasu. Sumimasen, toyu wa doko desu ka? Asoko desu. Arigatou gozaimasu. So that's what we kind of sound like right now. It's not the best by any means whatsoever. And I don't really have enough words to start like making sentences and talking like on my own. I'm slowly building it up. But the next chapter is when a lot of that's going to happen, just because I'm starting to add on verbs, locations, times, and explaining like the day that I'm going through. So that's going to be when I'm getting a lot more practice with actual conversation. So I actually spent maybe like 10 to 15 minutes pre-reading through chapter 3. Luckily, I already pretty much understand verbs. They are a little bit harder to understand because there are different type of verbs and different ways to pronounce them, whether it's like a negative version or a polite version. And there's a lot of congregation. Congregation. I can't say it right now. But that was our Japanese studies. We're going to be slowly looking through the same page that I was showing y'all last time. We pretty much have a lot of this down. So wakarimashita ka, which is do you not understand? Wakarimashita, I understand. Wakarimasen, I don't understand. Yukuri ite kudasai. This one's a little bit hard because I can't really do the R's really well. I mean, I was even in speech class for my R's in American pronunciation. So this is even 10 times harder, but I've been practicing this one. So yukuri ite kudasai, which is, can you please say that slower? And then you have moichi doite kudasai. Please say it again. And then you have chotto matte kudasai. Please wait a little. Kaite kudasai. Please listen. 10 peiji o mite kudasai. Can you look at page 10? What I'm kind of learning right now is just like classroom items. So we have keshigomo is eraser. Denki is going to be light. Isu is going to be chair. Inpitsu, that's going to be pencil. Mado is going to be window. Doa, door, that one's pretty easy, doa. Jishu, dictionary, and kokuban. So while I'm pretty much watching some anime when I'm relaxing now, I'm just going to be going through this over and over again until I get this down. And we also added on 15 kanji today. So it seems like a lot of kanji to memorize, but a lot of these kanjis I already have pretty much in my head from the past. So it's not as hard to recollect the memory. So that was our studies for the day. We're probably going to come back here. We're going to relax for a little bit, watch some TV, maybe come back in like an hour or two to get some more work done in the future, just because it's the weekend now. So what better thing to do with the weekend than to work more and practice Japanese? But that's my studies for the day. Let's go relax a little bit. All right, y'all. It is about 7:45. We've pretty much been chilling the last, give or take, 2 to 3 hours. I'm just kind of give you a heads up of what I'm doing like in between my Japanese. When I'm watching anime, what I'll do is like any like halfway point in the show, or after every single episode, I'll like pause it and then just go through the 6 words I'm learning. So right now, the words I'm learning right now are, for instance, chair is isha, or isu is chair. The line up here at denki. If we're looking at Blackboard, it's kokuban. What are some other ones? Door, doa, window, mata, things like that. So I'm just like saying them out loud, so that way they're like slowly registering in my brain. And that's like really the only way I can learn or memorize things. It's just repetition. So I just say it as many times as possible. I'm like The hard part is when you look at like a textbook and you see like all these words on the picture, you're like, oh, this is going to take forever to memorize. And then you put it in your Anki deck and you just have your flashcards that you can click through quickly and do custom studies. And that just personally helps me. It kind of condenses everything and makes it an easier way to learn. So I've been practicing those. I'm pretty confident with them to the point where tomorrow I could probably start adding on some chapter 3 vocab, which is going to be like, you know, talking about dinner time, what I'm going to eat, what I'm doing that day, where I'm going. So I can start actually forming partial sentences to practice and using conversation. So that's going to be a lot easier to start utilizing throughout the day because I can describe what I'm doing and talk out loud. But right now, we're going to be getting some dinner going, and then we're going to go right back to being lazy. I think I'm going to set the home theater up there with our projector and just kind of like veggie out and just chill until I fall asleep. But let's get some food in us. We're working with today, we got some salmon, rice, and some veggies. So actually, we could actually say this. Watashi wa sakana to yasai to, or I think it's ta. I forgot how to say and, but yasai, sakana, tabemasu. Yeah, you get the point though. I'm gonna eat, watch some TV, and then go to sleep, and I'll see you all in the morning.